What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Well, the Spurs went 1-2 again versus the Pacers, Mavs, and Magic last week. And I feel like Spurs fans, every week, I look at their schedule, I look at the games they played, and I feel like they could have gone 2-1 in each of the last 3 weeks. But for whatever reason, we can't close games, what have you. They're 3-6, and this team could very easily be 6-3. I'll get to my recap and report card in just a minute. But before I do so, a couple questions for you. Maybe you can answer in the comments down below your thoughts on what's going on with our Spurs. Why do we have an 11-man rotation right now? Most teams run 9. The Spurs had run 9, sometimes 10, but now we're rotating between 11 guys. I think that's too much. I mean, do we need to keep these young legs fresh? I don't think so. And also, why the small ball and the super small ball? I know Jakob Poeltl's out, but Jock Lindell? Anybody? Jock Lindell? Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Starting off with Dejounte Murray. Dejounte I rated as good last week. He shot well. He was our lead scorer. Take a look at his statistics. 32 minutes a game. Shot very well from the field. 52% plus 43% from beyond the arc, while giving us just about 20 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. That's pretty much all-star caliber. If he can maintain that throughout the year, he could make an all-star team. Will he? Probably not, because Spurs, we don't get any love. But 27, 7, and 2, that's pretty darn good. Is that the ceiling for Dejounte? Probably, but I'll take that as our starting point guard. And real quick, too, there's a lot of shades thrown towards Dejounte in my live streams or sometimes comments. Hero ball, or he's not that good. Trade him, trade him. I don't know what else you guys want from him. He's trying to be the closer. He's playing great defense. He's doing a little of everything. He's a Swiss Army knife right now. I like what I'm seeing. I don't know. Maybe I'm the minority. Anyway, next up, our other guard, Derrick White. Derrick, I thought was good overall. He shot the three well. The only thing I would say that the only knock I would go against him is I expected more scoring. 14.7 points per game for last week, and that's been kind of his average throughout the year. I believe he's averaging around 15. Shot very well from beyond the arc. He is getting more assists, but still, I really wanted to get more scoring at him this year, especially with him being healthy. Is him running the point kind of affecting that? I know he's getting the more assists, but is he not looking to create for himself more? I don't know. Just something seems off, just a little bit offensively with Derrick, and I do feel like he should be shooting more. Maybe he will as the season moves forward. Up next, my man, Keldon Johnson. I have this as a good and bad week. Love the fact that he's scoring 15 points per game, rebounded a lot more last week, 6.7 rebounds, but his shooting percentage. Keldon's shooting percentage is driving me crazy, and I know the effort's there. The hustle, loyalty, respect is there. Every game, the Incredible Hulk stuff is there. A lot of dunks last week. He got fouled. It was in the Magic game, no call, and then the next 2 plays he had dunks, so I love seeing that. But shooting 43% from the field overall, 25% from beyond the arc, and only 67% from the line is just not going to cut it to maintain your role as a starter over the next few years. So he's going to have to work on that. I think his shot selection at times is not the best, and he's been forcing shots. Let the game come to you naturally. I saw him pass a little more at the end of last week, and he really needs to start hitting threes, or teams are just going to leave him open and say, dare ya. And so far, you are going to win more often than not if you dare Keldon Johnson to hit a three. So I hope he turns his shooting percentage around. Once he does that, hopefully he'll be more good and not see any more bad or ugly for the rest of the way. Back from injury, Doug McDermott, Doug McDormand, Doug McBuckets. You guys have so many nicknames for this guy. I know he's back from an injury, but it was an ugly week in just 2 games. He didn't average only 26 minutes, but I think that injury might be affecting him. Maybe it's rust, but he did not chew well, and I got to call it like I see it. Just a bad week. 30% from the field, 20% from beyond the arc, and that's why we brought you in. We need three-point shooting, and we didn't get it from you. Thank goodness our starting guards actually hit the three pretty darn well last week. Up next, our current starting center, Drew Eubanks. I like Drew. I do love his energy, love the Thunder dunks of justice, but this is an ugly week. This was an ugly week. 35% from the field for the week, and only 3.7 rebounds. Yes, in 15.5 minutes, but if you double that, that's only 7.5 rebounds in about 31 minutes of action. That's just not going to cut it. I love the 1.7 blocks in limited action, but overall, Drew is not a starting center in the NBA right now. Could he be one someday? Hopefully. I always be happy to be proven wrong that a bench player could be a starter, but I don't think he's the answer at starting at center at all. Pop's starting him right now, and I don't think the team is very good sometimes when he's in there. I'm trying to be nice. Anyway, let's move along to Devin Vassell, who right now is turning into our lead guy off the bench. I thought this was a good week, maybe a great week. He had a career high 21 versus Dallas. And if you look at his stats for the week, 28 minutes to lead all bench players, 55% from the field, plus just around 42% from beyond the arc, while also getting 1.7 steals and 1.3 blocks. I like what I'm seeing in Devon Vassell. Could he, Spurs fans, be a starter by the end of the year? He is showing a lot of improvement, and this is only his second year, and this is our first lottery pick in 2 decades. So I love the progression I'm seeing in Devon Vassell's game. As long as he continues to be able to create his own shot, hit those mid-range jumpers, finish at the rim a little better, because I do think he got blocked a few times close to the rim. Remember, serves me, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. But I love the development we're seeing in Devon Vassell in year number 2. Lonnie Walker. It was a good week overall, I thought, for Lonnie. You know, he's very good at creating his own shots. He shot 44% from beyond the arc, which we really needed, but only 7.3 points per game. He needs to get more involved in the offense. If he plays like this through the rest of the year, in a contract year, he's not going to get re-signed. And I hope he gets a little more involved, but I do think he's going to start losing minutes. I believe last week, if you look at the Pacers, Mavs, and Magic game, his minutes went down every game. And that's because we're seeing more production. Maybe out of Devon Vassell is going to start taking his minutes. You got Josh Primo waiting in the wings, who's down in Austin. So I don't know what's going to happen with Lonnie moving forward. I am rooting for him. He's our most athletic guy, but he is still very inconsistent. Time will tell what happens with Skywalker moving forward. If you only knew the power of the dark side. Okay, anyway, moving right along to Thaddeus Young. I gotta say, even though I don't like the small ball thing with him playing center, Thaddeus Young played very well last week. 21 minutes a game, 61% from the field, and he was a Swiss Army knife as well. 4.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.7 steals, 1.7 blocks, and a team best, if you're into this analytic, plus 8.3. What can I say about that? I have no complaints. I like what I'm seeing. Could he work his way into the starting lineup and give us a real power forward? Maybe. We don't have, really any veterans on this team that have been in the league more than 5 years, except for Doug, and I think Dejounte's in his 6th year, but he's played 5. Most of our guys are like 5-6 years or less, and Thad's a true veteran. Could he work his way into a starting lineup, Spurs fans? Would you want to see him in the starting lineup? I was a little down on him coming to the team and in preseason at the start of the season, but he's impressed me. And the more minutes he gets, the more acclimated he's going to get to the team, and the more he's going to produce. So Thaddeus Young, props, man. He had a good week. Last but not least, because I'm going to do 9 players every week as well. I can only fit 9 players in this little thing here I can see on your OBS to show their pictures. Bryn Forbes. It was good and bad for Bryn Forbes. Good, he shot very well. 67% from the field, 75% from beyond the arc. Didn't really contribute anything else. Usually a nightmare on defense. And had a team worst, at least out of these 9 guys, -6 when he was on the floor. And I kind of wonder, no disrespect to Bryn, I'm rooting for him, but why bring him back? He played 11.2 minutes per game last week, 12.4 minutes per game overall for the year, which is, 7 or 8 down from his normal? Why bring him back if you're just not going to play him? He played 3 minutes, I believe, against the Magic. If he comes in, doesn't hit a shot, and gets blown away in a defensive play, are we giving up on him? Is that why we have the 11-man rotation? We're just seeing what Bryn can do, and if he makes a shot, he stays. If he doesn't, he goes. I don't know what we're doing with him. I'm at a loss for words. If you're not going to play him, trade him. And I hate to say that about any player, but if he's just going to sit there on the bench and start getting 5 to 10 minutes a game and eventually less than 10 minutes a game, put him somewhere that's a contender. See if a contender will take him. The Bucks certainly were happy with him last year, were they not? And let him play. He didn't come back here so he could sit on the bench and not play. So best of luck to Bryn Forbes. Anyway, some incomplete grades to round out the week. Jakob Poeltl played against the Pacers. That was it. He's out for health and safety protocol. I expect him to be out 2 weeks, dating back to a few days ago. So we're not going to see Jakob for some time. I know KBD got a lot of minutes, especially I think against the Papers. KDB's up. He's a bench player, guys. He's a bench player because of his limited offense. He does play very good defense. Not great length. But until he gets his offense clicking, I just don't think he's ever going to get any major minutes in the NBA. Hope I'm wrong. Trey Jones played well in limited action. I like what I'm seeing. He's part of that 11-man rotation where he's just getting a few minutes here and there, a few spot minutes, and I don't get it, but whatever it is, what it is. Jacques Lindell, with Jakob Poeltl going out with the health and safety protocol, we all, a large percent of us, thought we were going to see Jacques Lindell play with Jakob Poeltl. Instead, we got Thaddeus Young at center, who played admirably well. Drew Eubanks, who admittedly was a disappointment. And Doug McDermott, for crying out loud, was playing center at one point in the end of the Mavs game. That was a super small ball lineup. I was not happy to see that. We get killed in the paint regularly, and we're going to keep getting destroyed in the paint. Rebounds, second chance points for the other team, third chance points, sometimes fourth chance points. It's absolutely ridiculous. We are way too small, especially when we consider Kelman a lot of times playing power forward, and he's 6'5". I just don't know why Jacques Landale's not given an opportunity. Yes, he's a rookie. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He's 26 years old, has tons of experience overseas and Olympic experience. Stop treating him like he's, a 19-year-old out of college or an 18-year-old. Speaking of which, Josh Primo, he's off with Austin. Played last week. I'm not sure how he did. I don't know where to find the box scores for the Austin Spurs, to be honest with you. He's there off with Joe Wieskamp. How long will he be there? I don't know. Somebody did say in my chat, though, when I asked on a Spurs live stream, out of all the lottery picks this season, besides the Spurs, what other teams have sent their lottery picks to the G League? And the answer was nobody. From what I understand, the Spurs are the only team in the NBA that sent their lottery pick to the G League. Now, that being said, I also understand Josh Primo is not expected to be a lottery pick, and he is 18. So if this is best for him, great. If he's not going to get playing time, if he's not going to be part of a 12-man rotation, then get him some playing time, get him acclimated to the NBA style, and have him grow there. My player of the week. Thinking about Dejounte Murray, he got it last week, and I was like, you know what? After that career-high 21 versus Dallas, I got to go with Devon Blossom. Again, really like the progression I'm seeing in Devon's game. And if he was to steal a starting spot by the end of the year, I would think it would either be Doug's, moving Keldon, unfortunately, to power forward where he shouldn't be, which would give us a really small lineup, or, a lot of you have been asking for this, could we see Derrick White go to the bench and Devon Blossom take his role over as a starter? Time will tell, and Spurs, if they make a trade before the trade deadline, I hear names being thrown around, Lonnie Walker, Thaddeus Young, Bryn Forbes, and Derrick White, so we'll see with Devon Blossom, but excellent week, my man. Well deserved. Coming up next, we have OKC, the Kings, and Mavs. If you're still here, I don't think I'm going to call the OKC game later today. I will watch it, but I just would like to kind of take a day off and watch the game as a fan, not as a play-by-play commentator. Let's go 2-1 this week. Can we please have a week we go 2-1 and not 1-2? That's all I got, my friends. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, go Spurs, go!